I have been told. Family is the family, and it can't be bought or sold. So while I'm wasting time out on my motorcycle, you'll be babysitting dolphins, waiting for a change to come. And I will sing my song.
Friday night, 2 weeks from the last Friday night that we were here together. Put away your yoga mats and your self-help books, whatever the hell you guys do when I'm not around, because it's time for GONER TV. It's a Friday in March, and we're here. We got a lot of music for you this week, and well, we got a lot of business to get around. I mean, I have to get it started right away. It's starting to get like a roller rink in here. I got a lot of people to say hello to. First of all, I want to say hello to Bailey and Steven from Maryland, Tennessee. Wrote in about the, the What Records Are Still Here contest, and they got it wrong. Also, you guys should, Megan from Canada also got it wrong. But hey, thanks for writing in. We really appreciate it. And, oh no, wait a minute. Who do we, okay, so here's the thing. Allison Morgan from Georgia wrote in, and we think she got it right. Now, I'm getting confused about all of the different trios of albums that we've mentioned, but this is an old one. This is like maybe from the first time we did the contest. But Allison, we're going to honor and send you a t-shirt or something, so... we have your address. Although you did write here that Dirt Nap rules and Goner drools. That is incorrect. That is no way to get a free t-shirt. We're going to send you a free t-shirt anyway. And you better not send us a picture of you wearing a Dirt Nap shirt or something, because we're not interested in that. So thanks for writing. I wanted to show you guys too. We're going to start trying to maintain our postcards in this beautiful thing I've crafted out of the finest Goner cardboard. A little domestic tip: you can make some slippy things here where you can, how do you do this? You can slide the postcard right in there, and then if you need to refer to it again, or I need to find any of your addresses again in the future, it's really simple to use. And if you want one of these and you can't figure out how to do it, I will make you one for $49.95 and mail it directly to your house, free shipping. And look at that. That's an Eggo one. I like that one. I think that may even be handmade. That is a handmade postcard right off an Eggo box. So, I hope you guys learned something from my arts and crafts. And hopefully, as long as we're doing this, we'll keep building this wall. You can see the old postcards back there. So let me know. $49.95. I'll get one of those to you if you need it. Or you can just make it with tape. So we got the postcard stuff out of the way. We want to say thank you to the Dog City punks. Hattiesburg, Mississippi sent us a lot of video clips of bands from their scene, and we're going to be showing a portion of those tonight on the show. The entire thing can be viewed on YouTube, so if you don't have enough Hattiesburg by the end of tonight's show, get on to YouTube, check out the Hattiesburg scene. There's a lot of good bands coming from there. Also want to mention next weekend, the Black Lodge Telethon is going to be on somewhere. And if you go onto the Black Lodge website, they'll be able to tell you how to look at that. And I think, as far as I understand, it is all going to be different video clips of different things that people are sending in, sort of like what we do here. And there's going to be GONER TV people involved, I believe. Both Alec and Natalie's band. Do you guys have videos on the big Black Lodge show next weekend? Yeah, see? Got music videos from GONER artists. And I don't want to be arrogant, but I am making an appearance there. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing or what's expected of me. So that may be a disaster for me, but it won't be for you guys if you get involved with the Black Lodge Telethon. It should be fun, lots of good videos. And, I think that Memphis benefits from having a video store. It's a great thing. It's a cultural milestone, and cities are just losing all their interesting things by sticking a Starbucks or a Burger King or I don't know what the kids have now. What is it? What's the other burger thing? I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of upscale burger places now, I guess, but there's still chain stores, and you don't get the same sort of thing. So there's all of our extraneous GONER business out of the way. Big GONER business this week. We've got the Michael Beach record, and it is coming out. What's the date again on that? Next Friday. So you won't be seeing me here. You will be seeing the Michael Beach record hitting. Well, you won't really see that stores. I don't know. I mean, we have it here, and for all the people that pre-ordered, we want to assure you we're going to wait probably another week before we mail it to you. So you guys aren't going to be getting it right away because we spend our time doing this instead of packing orders. But you will eventually get this record in the mail. It's Michael Beach's Dream Violence. And I believe early orders get this white vinyl. Like, I'm going to show this to you like you've never seen a white record before. I'm sure you got the idea. It's white. It's a record. But you can play it on any record player. So, all right, man, that was a lot of business. It makes me happy to see people, at least saying hello, appreciating what we do. And I enjoy doing it for you and with all the people that are involved. So where is our first thing going on? The first thing we got going here is the aforementioned Hattiesburg VHS clip. It kicks off with Judy and the Jerks. We got an interview after that and some Michael Beach videos. And that's what we got coming up. So did I cover everything? We're good. Anything else I can do before we move on?
What's in the sack?
What sack?
The brown paper sack.
Oh, you're right. Actually, you know what? I do. I wasn't going to. This is a little unpleasant. I wasn't going to do this, but there's been some rumors going around that I'm not actually drinking out of a glass when I'm drinking on GONER television, and I want to assure you this is a real glass that I'm drinking out of.
Hello?
And that's a real telephone. None of these things are props, you see. This is all real stuff. We're sitting in a real store where we work, and, we have a little bit of fun every other Friday with you. So, thanks. I appreciate it, and we're going to move on now. Here we go. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Check it out. You're watching GONER television.
dressed up for the occasion, impressing the girl things who are trying to get next to him. Guess some people are turned on by Brill cream.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Strong, you know, I'm strong. I can arm wrestle. Do you want to arm wrestle?
No.
I'm taking part. These aren't mine. I can kick.
Okay, I'm going to go check on the top 10.
Almost WYXR, what do you want to hear? Get some.
Analog. Delay, 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 delay.
We're back. We're back. We're back. Hi. You're back on Goner TV here. We had some videos from the new Michael Beach album. Since this is our show, we'll show it again. And that album is going to be coming out next Friday. We won't be on the air, but we'll be thinking about you, listening to the record. What else we got coming up? Are you going to join us here? Alec is going to join us at the table. And since we're a record store, we're thinking of new ways to talk about records. So we're going to talk about records that we have here in the store that we're enjoying at the moment. What do you say, Alec?
I'm ready when you are, Bill.
Well, you got the record, so why don't you start? What do you want to talk about first?
All right. Well, let's talk about a hot new group out of the San Francisco, Oakland area. Been rocking this one in the shop a lot lately. We listened to it earlier. It's the Toads. Self-titled LP featuring legendary drummer and all-around SF good guy Anthony Bedard on drums. I really like this record. It's really good. It's a proper punk LP at 45, so it's good and loud. The guitar sounds like I don't know, it just sounds like you stuck a Procro Rat pedal into a microwave. So I think that's a good description of this.
I remember enjoying the album. That's all I remember about it. I did like it quite a lot, though. It has a manhole cover on the cover. I like that.
It's great. I want to know where they got their custom manhole cover done. That's really good. Anyway.
There was a Twisted Sister album that had a manhole cover on it. It was die cut. This one is not die cut, but it is a far better album than the Twisted Sister album. So I think you'll enjoy that a lot more.
All right. And
here's what I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
the Resonars.
Yeah, you know Matt.
Yeah, this is the last. Well, I lived in Tucson for a while, and I got to meet Matt and his friends that play music together. Matt was a member of the band the Knockout Pills with another friend of mine, Travis, who's in a really good band called the Freezing Hands. You might enjoy. This is the latest by the Resonars. They've been doing it for years and years. Great psych pop stuff. Good Hollies inspired. Vocal harmonies.
Every record's good.
Yeah. What do you have you got a chance to listen to the record carefully?
Yeah, this one is probably the most Beatles-esque of all of his, kind of 60s explorations.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Beatles harmonies and guitar work in there. But I feel like it's also distinctly Tucson. Because there's not a lot of bands in Tucson, but there's a tight knit band, a group of bands, and you can tell that they all work well together.
It sounds really great, and you can tell that the just based on all the photos of the studio on the back.
Oh yeah, he does his own recording.
Dude's got
too,
some serious gear.
Oh,
It
he's
sounds
recorded
great.
loads. He's recorded loads of bands. I think if you have some 2000 era pop punk or punk and roll type records, you may have one that Matt has recorded. So he's a busy guy, and it's a good album.
The solid stuff. If this is what he did during quarantine, like I think I'm just gonna hang it up.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh, another good one here.
Going from super hi-fi, Craigslist fiend equipment down to what sounds like it was recorded, using an old Shure mic covered with a sock going into a Tascam. Lo-fi. You thought this shit was dead, but it isn't.
You remember when people started getting an attitude about saying lo-fi? I think there was an attitude for a while about lo-fi, but it is a good descriptive term, especially for this record, I think.
Yeah, it's tuneful, but it's like everything. It's recorded under a bunch of moving blankets or something. It's really good. I mean, I hate that people are still out here eating Mike Donovan's lunch without him getting any cred, but between this band, Midnight Steppers, and Honey Radar, who I love Honey Radar, but I think they ought to cut that dude a check.
Well, you're off my radar because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not familiar with any of that. But
it's a good record. Nobody knows who these people are, apparently, which I think is cowardly. Show your faces, the Midnight Steppers.
Oh, are they a no identity band? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think maybe they're in some like really bad bands or something.
Kinda
but we'll never know.
The Residents kind of situation there. Is that what
Exactly.
it is? I did not know that.
On a different trip, some folks who've been around for a while in the DIY scene, Palberta, have a new record that came out.
I haven't heard this at all.
A couple months
actually.
ago or something.
I'll have to check this out.
I first got introduced to Palberta through some friends of mine who we played. My old band played at the Middle East in Boston with New England Patriots, who were an absolutely psychotic band.
Wow.
And with a lot of really just a really creative scene of folks, and they told me like you got to check out this band from New York called Palberta, and I did, and I remember listening to them and just being like, oh yeah, these sound like a bunch of friends who are just all got the giggles with each other, and they're all hopped up on goofballs, just making each other laugh. Which is, it was good. I didn't really dig into it any further. But this is like, they've been doing a lot of experimentation over the years, and they actually tried to make pop songs. They still couldn't make pop songs. But it's great. It's a great. It's a great result with a lot of experimentation, like 3-part harmonies and hocketing vocals and stuff like that. It sounds like It sounds a little bit like the Minutemen. In that guitar, bass, drums, but really more so in the fact that you can tell that it's 3 people who really just love each other and love making music together. It's a really good, feel-good, angular post-punk album.
All right, guitar, bass, drums. You heard it here first.
All right, and here's something that is decidedly not guitar, bass, and drums, and is absolutely psychotic. I have Eric to thank for turning me on to this record, because I came into work one morning and there was nobody in here. Lights were already on. I was like, where is everybody? And this record was spinning on the turntable like a ghost left it there, and it was spinning the most demented cover of "Son of a Preacher Man" I have ever heard.
It's a weird record, man. It's one for the, I don't know, the Esquivel and Beyond crowd.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway,
wild album.
The group is called Meridian Brothers. They're from Colombia, and they make really whacked out electronic cumbia. And if you ever asked yourself, wonder what happened if Faust produced a cumbia band. And I know you haven't done that, but this is pretty much what you would get. And I'm on my way to track down every other one of their records because this one is so good. I've been blasting this one constantly. I think I listened to it like 3 times in the first day. It's really awesome.
What else do we got tonight?
All right, now we're keeping it. We're gone from South America. Now we're keeping it local.
Right here in Memphis, Tennessee.
We got some Memphis heat.
This is really the what the hell of the week, man. This people just pressed this record. And it's awesome.
Yeah, this was a total out of the blue. We got a call, or we got an email from a band. They're like, "Hey, we're a Memphis metal band. We've been coming to Goner forever. You know, we would love if you guys. We're putting out this record. We would love if you guys would carry it." And you know, just on a whim, we were like, "Yeah, sure. We want some vocal metal in the shop. Like that'd be great." And I hope I don't offend any of the band members by saying this, but one of my coworkers who is not here today thought that they were sending middle schoolers on their errands to drop off these records, and I told him, "No, dude, that's one of the band members." And this record is the heaviest fucking thing I've heard in years. It's insane.
Solid record.
It's like, I mean, like Cole called it blackened grind, which is like that works. It's got a little bit of black metal kind of vocals.
Some of those sinister guitar harmonies type things.
Yeah, but it's also like really crunchy, like going back to like all the way back to kind of, you know, Siege inspired grind. And then on top of that, there's all of these like really cosmic textures with, you know, intense power electronics. The production's insane. Apparently, what's the guy's name from Converge? Kurt Ballou? Is that how you say his name?
I do not know how to pronounce his name.
Anyway, that guy mixed the record. I mean, I don't know if that's
I didn't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very professional job.
I think all these kids are in high school. Like this is normally I don't go for PTA metal, but I mean this is some real shit.
It's got some real solid old school earache vocals too.
Yeah, and the lyrics are good. The lyrics are really like Lovecraftian and creepy, and it's a great like record cover. I don't know if I can manage to. I'm gonna try not to deafen anybody by putting this mic down. But I don't know if you can see.
He's gonna do a dramatic reading from the album.
Shrouded eyes. Pulpous skull, sinuous in the weld. I mean, this shit's good, man. It's really heavy. So check it out before they blow up. It's some serious Memphis shit.
Hey, what's the name again?
Oh, the band is called Knoll.
Yeah.
And the album is called Interstice.
Before some big metal label signs them, and their album is $45 each.
Yeah. Snatches up. It's called Knoll, Knoll. The album is called Interstice, and you can find all of these records on the Goner website.
They are on the website.
If you look for the tab that says "As Seen on Goner TV,"
World Wide Web in action here. Now this is interesting too. This is another Memphis record.
This is another Memphis record. This is an album by Luca, who's a South Memphis-based MC. The album is called When the Black Hand Touches You, and this is like, I was trying to think about this. I mean, I'm not a huge, like, I don't claim to be a hip-hop head any more than I claim to be a metal head, but, like, I could kind of feel like hip-hop was stuck in a little bit of a prog rock kind of thing, even before Kanye sampled King Crimson. This is like the negative approach to that.
It's very street.
It's very thugged out.
How's that?
It's super thugged out, like, and it's heavy, but it's also like back to basics. Every song is just one super hard hitting soul sample, and then a big long verse. That's it. And I don't think any song goes over like the 2.5 minute mark.
And we've got it here in Memphis.
It's Memphis. It's the real deal. It's sold out from the label. We got the last few copies here, so get this while you can. It's some serious shit. It's really good. Luca. All right, and, let's see. What else we got? We got some Memphis heat. This is another Memphis record. This is an album by Luca, who's a South Memphis-based MC. The album is called When the Black Hand Touches You, and it is. This is like, I would try to think about this. I mean, I'm not a huge, like, I don't claim to be a hip-hop head any more than I claim to be a metal head, but, like, on a
This is another one I wanted to hear and I forgot to pay attention to earlier. But it's like this is good stuff though. From what I heard, it's really good.
Yeah, this
you
is,
have to tell me what you think it sounds like.
If I don't know, everybody who comes into the shop should be familiar with $75 Bill by now because we play it so often. But if you're not, they're an improv duo. I think based out in New York, upstate New York, somewhere around there. I can't really remember. But this album was recorded at Tubby's in Kingston, New York, which is a great little venue owned by Corey Plump of Spray Paint. And this was one of the last sets that they did before quarantine happened. And I played in this room. It's a great room. It's a great spot. And it's a great double album. It's the $75 little big band. They added horn and string accompaniments in there. It's just this really makes me miss live music, this record. And so if you're a fan of $75 Bill, if you're a fan of improv, drone-based music, if you're a fan of, Tuareg guitar, stuff like that, definitely pick this up. It's worth having. And then since we're kind of going long, I'm just going to do real quick on some things that we just got in the shop that I haven't had enough time to spend with, but I'm really digging. This is
my big hit this week. I was way into this record when I heard it.
Yeah, this is a band called Smirk. They're from Los Angeles. I think it's the project of solo project of the singer from Public Acid. This was released on cassette tape in 2020, I think. And then finally, we have a domestic LP production thanks to Feel It Records out of Richmond.
Really looking forward to digging into this one more. I can't wait to hear more of that.
Yeah, shout out to Sam for putting this out. This
a lot of good punk and roll, wouldn't you say? I thought there was a little bit of Buck Biloxi sound in it.
Definitely some Buck Biloxi stuff.
Some Johnny Thunders guitar play riffs ripped off in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Good punk and roll for that crowd if you're missing that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you're one of those snobs who feels like you got to have tape sound on there, this is for you. But besides that, it's just a great punk record with a way more dynamic than it should be for how it was recorded. Really, really tight stuff. And then just in from Total Punk, we got the G.G. King record, Remain Intact. This is, I need some more time to digest this thing. This kind of blew my head off with how much is going on. There's a lot of tuneful songs on here. There's also trap beats. There's also just weird sonic experimentation. Going back to the kind of weird, boneheaded, almost proto metal stuff that that whole Atlanta crew was doing way back in the day. I think I have a cassette tape of theirs from when they were 13. That kind of reminded me of this. So it's cool to hear some throwback Atlanta stuff, but they're still they still got some progression stuff happening. It's really awesome. It's on Total Punk. We just got a bunch of copies up here, so grab it while it lasts. Really good stuff.
So those are the records you can pick up off the GONER website and here in the store. A lot of good stuff coming out in spite of the fact that we're in lockdown. I don't know what to say about that. People are recording, right?
Yeah, people are recording.
People are doing production. Actually, something that's driven me crazy about this lockdown is how everybody says, I'm not just binge watching shows and drinking. I think that's fine to spend your time that way, but, you can do some self-improvement and record an album. If you want to. You're able to do these things if you want to. So, you try to think about using your time wisely during this forced home time because, when you look back on it, you're not going to remember the TV shows you watched, but you will remember that terrible album you put out. So, yeah.
That's definitely true for me.
I think that's a good lesson. I try to do something productive every day and encourage you even if you don't know what to do.
And if you're feeling stuck, get some fresh sounds. Mix it up. Listen to a record that you never listened before. I feel like that's listening to all of this stuff. It just made me thirsty for more, man.
America runs on imagination. And And that's what we need to, we need to get out of this mode where it's okay to just be sitting around because the country tells you have to stay home. We got to do stuff.
Get to it. Get busy.
Be inspired. All right, where the hell are we?
Oh yeah. Thanks to Rob Yazzie for the awesome videos. That was great.
Yeah,
Really?
we got a lot of good video stuff previous, and we have a lot of good video stuff coming up, right?
Oh yeah.
And for this one, we've got Video Block 2 coming up, which includes videos.
Yeah, we've got more Michael Beach coming up.
More Michael Beach. See, I'm not sure what some of these things I'm not supposed to read. We have a commercial. You're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Every episode of Goner TV is like the Super Bowl. You watch the commercials
you
too.
watch it for the commercials, don't you? I mean, these are locally produced commercials. That's what some people are doing with their time while they're at home, is they're making commercials for the things for you to look at. So, yeah, we got stuff coming up. Anybody want to say anything before we get that started? No? Everybody good? All right, let's get going with Video Block 2.
Michael Beach!
On Goner Television.
Freddie was just like you, born with a beating heart, just like you. He thought he had all the time in the world. He thought he had all the time in the world. Destiny came calling. Freddie was young, self-confident, educated American, who never did leave the Midwest. Had to get a job, college debt, a new truck, and a new engagement. She clung to him, said it was her daddy's fault. He often wondered what might have happened with different experiences. He was dutiful Catholic, Christian, neo-Protestant, and he could feel something changing, like he was closing in on fate. Then one night after work, he saw an ad on television for the first settlement on Mars. He started classes on weekends. He stopped drinking with his friends. He felt distant forever. His mind began to ascend. He felt the glory of pioneers. After the gunfire, gravity was near, and the protection of blood, the protection of blood, the protection of blood, the protection of blood. And when the test flight came, he was shaken with emotion. Till it touched at the sea, he put that rocket ship in motion. As if the universe knew that the planet was real. Beating heart, there was death animation. Oh, death animation.
Hi, Michael Beach. How are you doing? It's nice to. It's nice
Good to see you. We've been sending lots of work emails back and forth. It's good to see you, man. Feels like we need to have a beer or something like that doing this much work together.
Man, can we
Pretty
just
intense.
jaunt back to Gonerfest and
I know.
cozy up to the bar and have a chat and drink a beer, or I'll shoot out that way. Actually, that sounds a lot better.
Yeah, man.
Honestly,
It's
right now, to be honest with you.
slowly coming back to life, which is a huge relief, man.
Yeah, it's got to be something to just be able to go and play a show. What's that like?
It's pretty great, man. It's funny. I guess I can't even remember now, but it's been at least a month of kind of like tiptoeing back into playing live. But the last 2 weekends that's when we've really noticed the difference. Like I've been out. I think I've seen like 8 shows over the last 2 weeks. It's just like, you're just fiending for it. Like the people, my friends, live music.
I bet. Yeah, we're all sort of in this place where we're now talking about what this thing could look like and how we could potentially pull off shows. We're not in any sort of place to be able to really do that, Yeah. So it's more like thinking about what might happen in a few months. On the other hand, you guys have sort of figured out how to lock the goddamn thing down and, and actually be able to get out and be safe and safely do it, see people.
We're so fortunate. Yeah.
I know that you spent time both in Bay Area over here and in Melbourne. Talk a little bit about that. Where did you start and where did you grow up? And
So I bounced around a fair bit. I grew up in a town called Merced, sort of place you leave when you're 18, So I left there, went to school in Southern California, and then when I studied abroad in Melbourne, my last year of uni, just instantly like met a friend and like went headlong into this killer music scene. And I didn't really play music at that stage. I was like a fan, but then just met friends, and even like the dorm I was staying at had like a jam room, with equipment, so it was just, everything was easy. And you were always going to shows, and we were started playing a lot. And I don't know, for someone who didn't grow up in the scene or have much exposure to music outside of like MTV in the 90s, that was kind of like, like all at once you get thrown into this scene that's, especially in Melbourne, is pretty like collectively supportive of a real DIY sort of music scene. After a year of studying in Australia, my visa ended, so I had to go back. I managed to get a visa back to Australia and stay for 5 years. That was based on a relationship that I was in. And then when we broke up, pulled the plug and was like, you're out again. And so I had like, on that first round is when I had kind of really started playing bands. And that's when I first started touring the States with Australian bands, and took me about 5 years to get established to a certain degree where you can get gigs easily and, folks in the music scene or whatever. And then yeah, like that, just like, there's your, I lost my job, I lost my home, I lost my blah, blah, blah. And it's not a sob story. It's just part of the risk of living internationally, I suppose. So it's like, well, I'll try San Francisco. My Australian band at the time had played at the Hemlock. And so I as soon as I got there, I went straight to the Hemlock, like, can I have a job? I want to work, just let me do the door or something like that. That was between 2005, 2010. So of course, like Ty Segall and the OCs, that was that scene in San Francisco at the time. Obviously lots of other bands, but Ty, having been associated with GONER, that's when it really started, like, GONER Records, this is a thing, and then the other person that I think that kind of was my Bay Area, finally I found like I had friends in a scene and could fall into something, was Utrio from Comets and Personal and the Pizza. And just being like a gregarious sort of dude that he is, was like, sure, let's play a show.
That's amazing.
And we would have played to 5 people. Afterwards he was like, you remind me of Peter Loeffner, which was was generous in the extreme at the time, great. but still, and then like I asked him, would you mind playing drums on a couple songs? And then before I knew it, like he kind of like Utrio was the gateway to the Bay Area. He's essentially universally loved. You never meet a person in the music scene who doesn't absolutely adore this guy, you know. And then after 5 years there, when I thought, oh, I'm never, you know, having kind of my strongest ties, friendship wise, in Australia and bandmates and all this other stuff, and still had been going back to Australia and playing tours and stuff. Then I started dating an Australian girl that I met on tour, and it's like, well, I've got an opportunity now, dating her, to go back and get a visa. Maybe if I, you know, start playing with folks in Australia, it'll be more of like a stable kind of band unit that we can grow, you know.
Yeah.
And so for that and a bunch of other reasons, I decided to move back and haven't really looked back. I really loved Oakland and the Bay Area, and I definitely miss a lot of things about it. But yeah, it's a funny one. Like immediately being here, you know, it's like, God, the quality of life is just, it's just better, you know. I mean, it's not a competition anyway, but
yeah. How does that work? How do you feel that? How does that manifest itself?
There's a bunch of stuff. Like, first and foremost, like as a musician, the big thing that kind of drew me back here is like these community radio stations that we have are incredible. You know, Triple R and PBS are you know, especially in like the part of town that I would live, like everybody's got the bumper sticker on the back of the car that, you know, thousands of listeners citywide. It's a city that like people go out to shows regularly. And I think it's important to realize like Australia is not perfect and not better. You know, it's got its own issues. There are cool things about being an artist of my size. For example, you know, and I'm not this size by any means, but Eddie Current headlined a Meredith Music Festival, you know, where it's, I don't know, what do they play? 15,000 people, where, you know, Brendan's on the shoulders of the crowd, you know, like he's Bruce Dickinson at the Iron Maiden show or something. It's just, it's insane, you know? And I think this also kind of produces something unique about Australian music, is that how great that a small band can become something that can do that. But that's where it is, right? That just doesn't even come into an Australian mindset, you know, like money, music and money won't be linked like that. But I think that all kind of played into my decisions to move back. It's like, well, you know, looks like I'm going to be in the underground for a while, you know, like this over here seemed like a much more, you know, enjoyable on a day-to-day basis way to do that, you know, a little bit less of a hustle. It's still, you know, still hustling, but, you know, it's like again, this isn't Australia's the best, you know, these systems are great, but yeah, there's, you know, everybody in Australia is obsessed with, you know, even just saying I'm on GONER, like, oh, GONER Records, you know, and you go to the GONER shop and it's an incredible shop, but it's like just a modest record shop like most other record shops, right? It takes on an outsized, you know, proportion over here, or something like that.
It works out well for us.
Oh, man.
Because I have a pretty intense love for lots of things Australian, and so it's worked well for us to get to work with great bands.
Man,
you know,
I was thinking about it, and yeah, you know, without wanting to gush or anything, obviously it's a pretty special thing for me to be involved with you guys. And over the last couple of weeks, like how I came to be aware of, you know, GONER Records and the artists that were on GONER Records. And I can definitely remember my first tour on that, my first record, which is super sparse and came out of, you know, on the back of this intense personal tragedy and was meant to be this really like sparse and alone thing, whatever. And I toured it crazily, you know, just kind of on my own, which was also fairly miserable, just like with, you know, it was like,
glutton for punishment, Mike.
Yeah. I just didn't know, you know, I'm just young and like, well, I'm going to go on tour because I want to, you know. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
And Nick Warnock from RIP Society, you remember that?
Yeah.
He hasn't done a ton recently, but great dude. He was over with Royal Headache, and I played a show with Royal Headache, and
fantastic band.
And then Nick was like, oh, I'll go up to you with Seattle. You know, I'm kind of keen to see the Pacific Northwest. And it was in that car ride, I can remember, where he would have gone like, I was like, oh, who's this? And he's like, wait, you've never heard of the Oblivions? They run GONER Records, you know? It's like, where do you live in a cave, you know? And so
I love it. We've got a new record that we're excited to be putting out on GONER, Dream Violence. Talk a little bit about how that came together, how you wound up recording it in a couple of different places, and what that led to, and in the record itself.
Well, I guess the songs had been just boiling along for however long. I was ready. I guess, yeah. So I moved back to Australia. It wasn't until Matt and Inez from Thighmaster moved down from Brisbane, and we were kind of talking, and we had been like, I don't know, out back or at somebody's house, and I remember Matt was saying, "Oh yeah, we're thinking about maybe going over for Thighmaster, but I don't know if my brother can come." It's like, "Oh man, just let me play bass, like I'll fine." Like, "Oh, I want to make a record. I want to tour." I think it kind of planted a seed. So anyway, that all kind of came to fruition, probably with me, continually suggesting it, but it just ended up working. So
it did. Yeah,
it was great. And then they're like, who's playing in your band? And I was like, "Oh man, I don't know," just totally bummed, feeling like at a loss. And they're like, "Oh, we'll play." It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
So we recorded at the end of the last tour, which was great. But it was the same thing. It was like, because of money stress and time stress, it was just rushed. I had kind of heard all this stuff about, how many classic albums do we know, like recorded at the end of their blah, blah, blah tour, they're on fire, So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a record that does that. And Phil Manley, who had recorded the last couple of records, wasn't available. So I kind of asked Kelly Stoltz to help me put something together. And it was a pretty positive experience, but I think it was definitely like a little strained. I was really happy with how the record came out, but I definitely know that I put some stress on people. It's very me in that, like, if I want to do something, I'll work to get it done. I'll stay up fucking nights on end. I'll do what I have to do. So I was mixing that fucking record, like looking at the clock, saying to Danielle, like, man, I hope that tape can bounce. Like, I got to be at the airport in like 20 minutes, It's just, looking back now, it's like, what the fuck was I thinking? It's cool. And so because of that, like you say, it becomes, what happened with that record? It's got like all these little like snippets of different parts of me and different band makeups that I basically like worked to fit, and then hopefully it does,
Well, I feel like that's what's so interesting about it, is that it really does come off as a very cohesive piece, but only as cohesive as like any of the other ones. And part of what's sort of magical about what you do is that it feels like at any 1 second, the thing could go into something that's different, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I love
that.
They're
oh, thanks, man. It's just certainly anxiety inducing, it's like, it doesn't bode well for me, like, being in a scene, like, is he post-punk? Well, I think he's kind of like he's just like a rocker. Well, there's that drum machine track. I don't know. He's not really a rocker either. It's like, fuck, it would have been a hell of a lot easier if I just like did one thing. But,
it might have been easier, buddy, but I don't think you'd make as good a record. So I'm glad you were eschewing the scenes the way that you have. It's made life probably much more difficult, but you are making better music for it.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, and I think now at least I can see that over a body of work. It's like, this is what I do. There's like an internal pressure as you play for a long time, as you get older. So it's this thing of like, fuck, man, I gotta write some better songs. Like I gotta get on the fucking. I gotta write a hit. Christ, I can't fuck around with this multi-genre. I gotta get my shit together. So anyway, it's fascinating, right? And ultimately, it's like, well, I don't know, be true to yourself. I feel, I guess, lucky enough to grown up in an era where I never really expected to make any money off of music. So I guess if you're not gonna if you don't have to pay any bills with it, you might as well do what you think is good. Or
yeah, I think so too, man. And yeah, hell, it's why we wound up in this place together, because nobody's really making any money at it, but we figured out a way to continue to do it up to this point. And, but I think that the work speaks for itself, and the record turned out amazing.
Thanks,
and
man.
I can't wait to get it out there and get it in everybody's ear holes. Thanks for being a part of this crazy Goner world thing that we're throwing out there, and hopefully we'll kick this thing to the curb here and get you over here to be playing these songs.
I'll be ready. I've been talking to people about helping set up shows whenever it's ready, so I'll be there with bells on.
I can't wait, buddy. Can't wait.
Oh, hey. I'm Robbie Grant, Executive Director of WYXR. We're a new nonprofit, non-commercial radio station here in Memphis, Tennessee, broadcasting from the Crosstown Concourse. And you can listen to us online at WYXR.org. We got a lot of great shows, like Goner's own Cole Wheeler and Zach Ives, along with other great DJs. You can check out our schedule at WYXR.org. And there's a lot of other great stuff happening. Tell them about it, Jared.
Hello, everyone out there in TV land. My name is Jared Papa Bear Boyd, and you're here with us at WYXR 91.7 FM. If you don't have an FM tuner, you can listen to us on WYXR.org. It's a pretty cool experience. It might be even better. You know, when I was a little boy, I thought that I would grow up to be a radio host. Turns out, I grew up and I had to start running a radio station. Here's one of our really famous personalities who's on the air. This is a really cool radio station because you can come here, drink beer, play a few music songs, and leave, go home, and no one pays you. So, if you're interested in a few drunken songs and a few disgruntled volunteers, you're in the perfect place. I stand by that. Hope you're listening at home, and please donate to our efforts. Thanks to GONER for having us on.
91.7 WYXR Memphis, Tennessee, the newest radio station in town. Join us.
All right. We just heard from Michael Beach in a couple of different ways. We had an interview and we had some video from his upcoming album. I lost my copy already. Here it is. Dream Violence. The pre-order for this is up on our website right now. And it's our latest release. It'll be out next Friday. And you can pre-order it right now in both vinyl and compact disc format. So, yeah, we got that going for us. What else we're going to mention? Quintron's live stream on Twitch, which is something I'm totally familiar with, is Martin Quintron. And that's one word, Martin Quintron. And you can check out the rest of Quintron's live stream on Twitch, which is something I'm completely familiar with. I wouldn't even, you don't even have to tell me how it works because I know exactly what that is. What else are we going to say goodnight? We're going to say goodnight here in a minute. Let's see. I want to say thanks. Oh, we got more of the Hattiesburg on the way out. We're going to show you some more of the Hattiesburg VHS. We got some more Quintron promo for his live stream. And I guess that just leaves us to say what else is going on. That's about it. We'll be back here in 2 more weeks. Next week, the Black Lodge Telethon. If you want to log on to that, or however people are watching it, maybe on Twitch. I wouldn't know. I mean, I would already know that because I'm so familiar with what Twitch is that I would be sure to know that it was being broadcast on Twitch. The Black Lodge Telethon is next weekend. Work to, save and appreciate the video store and hopefully venue when we get out of this COVID situation. And is that everything? I think I've really covered a lot of ground tonight. I want to thank all of you for having ground to cover and things to do and things to talk about. I enjoyed it, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. And we're going to kick right back off for the rest of the night with the Quintron promo. So you've been watching Goner TV. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Music is not our property, it's a way. Music is not our property, it's a way. And it's a code. What makes the universe move, shapes. I don't think we can do better.
Hello, friends, Romans, countrymen. Lend me your Sunday afternoons for a while. 7 or 9 episodes of a new show that we are calling Big Organ Moments, in which we discuss all things electronic organ. Sometimes we'll go into pipes, but I'm into the electronic organ era, and gonna loosely theme them, although I will probably not stick to it. Episode 1 going to feature on some of the ladies that got me super into collecting this stuff. Ethel Smith, Cherry Weiner, Rosa Rio, Alice Coltrane, a million others, and a possible secret interview with the one and only Courtney Lane, who plays a very bizarre instrument called the accorgan. So here I am to prove that it's real. It's all real, friends. Join me, and this will be archived as a podcast for later enjoyment forever and ever until the internet fails.
Power stance.